Welcome to my year in review 2018. I'm actually putting this review video at, well, the end of the year, unlike a famous, I'll say that, 2018 review video that was made with like 2 months left, that was actually put on YouTube with about 3.5 weeks left. The goal of this video is to be the least disliked video on YouTube, meaning 0 dislikes. Given that there was already one that was the most disliked video on YouTube, I don't dislike my odds. But, oh, I'm screwed. That already got a dislike right there. But anyway, let's get into it, folks. This is going to be a general review. This is going to be a review of all the stuff that I've sort of had on my channel throughout 2018 and just how it went and such. It's not necessarily going to be a review of my videos. Just a review of kind of what happened that's relevant to my channel in 2018, which is going to be mainly GT Sport, because my channel is mainly GT Sport. That's why this background is all GT Sport, because that's just the easiest, most straightforward thing to do, because, well, a GT Sport background, so some stuff that was there release, and then whatever was throughout the game's history from then on, which is mainly 2018. Well, to review 2018, in one word, it was whelming. Is that even a word? I would think so, given that there's overwhelming and underwhelming. This year was just whelming. It wasn't really over or under. This year was average, honestly. It kind of went as I expected in some ways. Most ways, I guess. About the average amount of ways it went averagely, I guess is probably the best way to put it. And to start off with, well, GT Sport. It was kind of the most whelming thing to happen because 2017 was honestly a bit underwhelming. Y'all know I have a general dislike for GT Sport because I guess all in all, the closed beta, in hindsight, was way overwhelming. It's looking like at that point, in 2017, GT Sport was going to be incredible. And well, now we're here. Yes, we've gotten tons of cars and tons of tracks throughout this year, but we were told that we were going to get that. And we also have microtransactions and weekly races. We weren't told about that now, were we? We were expecting daily races and no microtransactions. Now we're here, folks. And the weekly races are still pretty unplayable, as they were back in 2017. Yeah, GT Sport is whelming overall for this year. It's kind of a whelming Gran Turismo game in general, throughout all of them considered, would be about a 9 out of 10, because that's really about their average, all things considered. Sort of kind of, even with GT Sport thrown in the mix, because people pretty much say GT 125 was on average of above a 9. A lot of those games actually got, I don't think any got a straight up 10, but a lot of them got between like 9.2 and like 9.7. 9.2 to 9.7 averages to 9.5. GT stuck up about an 8.5, and then the critics gave GT Sport about a 6 to 7 when it came out. The overall game, I'd still only give about a 7 to throw in. When it came out, it was still about a 7. Now y'all may be wondering, given that we've gotten stuff, how is it still a 7? Because again, we were told we were going to get stuff. Even in a really good game, like Grand Theft Auto 5. Yes, the online's crazy, and people have their likes and dislikes about that, but the sole game of Grand Theft Auto 5 was really caught picking good. We were told that we were going to get stuff for it, even in its single player, and we did. For a little while. And then it stopped. But it's still 10 out of 10. You rate a game more of how it actually is instead of what could be, is basically what I'm saying. GTA was underwhelming, but it was so good to begin with, it's still a really incredible game. GT Sport? Yeah, whelming at best, honestly. And well, here's to more of the negatives. Yes, we've gotten stuff, but no. We still can't save offline. So all the stuff that we've gotten, at times we can't use it all. That's still a thing. In 2019 now coming up, we can't actually save a video game offline. In 1997, 22 years ago, not really. Because the 20th anniversary of Gran Turismo wasn't that far back. I don't even think it's fully to the 21st anniversary yet, as of recording this. But 22 calendar years between 1997 and 2019, we could save stuff in Gran Turismo games. Still can't GT Sport. That's a pretty cotton-picking major flaw. That is downright underwhelming. If I says it's because people could cheat, well, the stuff that you do offline is, hey, this was added in 2018. There was the arcade mode, and then, there's this. It's something. It's better than nothing. But all things considered, it's still pretty lackluster compared to old Gran Turismo games. We still can't save this offline. And it's still overall worse than a lot of the previous Gran Turismo games. Yeah, technically speaking, it's better than Gran Turismo 2 or something. I'm saying Gran Turismo 2 because that's the music it plays on this. Non-stop. Forever. I didn't play Gran Turismo too much, but didn't it have at least one other soundtrack than what's playing here? But whatever, that's getting on a different tangent. The reason I mentioned GT2, other than its music, is because that was on the PS1. It had its own limitations and stuff. There's only so much you could actually put into an entire game. This is far from the entire game. It's so limited to a point in which it's virtually useless. Unless you're trying to grind. Yeah, doesn't it sound odd that an offline with maybe 30, 40 events, something like that, I have almost 200 wins in? Yeah, for whatever reason, GT Sport, even now, still makes it to where the pointless to the overall experience of the game, shoehorned in literal 2018 part of the game, makes you more money than the online portion and sport mode and stuff, which was literally this game's selling point. That's still a thing. And the event that makes you the most money, the cars are, I'm gonna say it right now, statistically speaking, rounded to impossible to get. Meaning the odds are lower than 0.5% to get a 20 million credit car in whatever wheel spin it may be. The daily one, the from doing the new events that come up like the circuit experiences or the other ways. No, I don't think it's 0% because it's been proven it ain't. But out of the 4 cars on a wheel, I would say it's less than 0.5%. One of those cars happens to be a 20 million credit car. And of course, the odds of getting that is 4, because there's 4 of them, in whatever 250 whatever cars are in the game now. Doesn't that sound messed up? Yeah. That's one of the underwhelming things. But now to more of the positive. Stuff that's honestly overwhelmed me to the point of it's pretty cotton-picking awesome. Gran Turismo Sport is said to not be that much about car collecting. I didn't particularly like that all that much, but I tolerated it because when it said that, the closed beta was out and I was enjoying it. The point of it played well. That was enough to make me not care. Now we have more cars, and honestly, some of them are decent to collect. What's on screen, not as much, because one of them you can't even get. But examples of stuff that's just cool collector's cars that aren't that used but are just fun to drive are some of the wacky Viz and Gran Turismos. There's that McLaren Viz and Gran Turismo new to the game that your character's literally laying down in. That's cool touch that doesn't really affect the game any, but it's just cool to look at. Kind of reminisces of old Gran Turismos. Weird, wacky, and wonderful thing of those. And there's more than just that, too. Even though it was in previous games, there's like the Samba bus now. That doesn't really belong here. It's useless to actually race against other things other than itself. But arguably, that's been the most iconic car for me in GT Sport, really. Because that was the best of the jelly cars. It's kind of sad to say, given that this is Mopar, but it's true, ain't it? I'd rather it be something else, but I mean, the other Mopar games are whelming at best. We still don't have the Demon. We don't have that many iterations of Viper. We don't have a Ram. I don't get why games rarely ever have Jeeps. I don't know. Said Jeep for a long time and we still have that. And just overall, there's not really a Dodge Viz in Gran Turismo other than the Tomahawk. There's a whole heck of a heap of ways that could be done with that. I mean, there could really be something like a V8 Viz in Gran Turismo. Nope. That's really about all I can say about that today. And honestly, that's the main positive to GT Sport, honestly, is there was miscellaneous cool stuff that happened along the way. Of course, there's individual positives that are specific to me, like, just barely in 2018, like I think it started in 2017, it finished in 2018. I won a GT Sport Manufacturers Cup for Dodge. It was one of the preliminary rounds, so it didn't count in the full thing, but I still won it. It's still on the actual screen itself, and I can go check. I'm not doing that because my internet's slow, but like you can go to sport mode, the daily/weekly race screen, and then it should be up here somewhere. Archive, yes. So it's there. That's cool, but that's just me individual. So the wider scope of things in this particular mode, it's been, I guess, whelming. The way it plays, I think the majority of people are a bit negative to it. Granted, that was the same in 2017 as well, but I'll admit, even though there's a bit of shadiness going on with it, like the Toyota and the Lexus easily winning the Manufacturers Cup, those two are basically the same manufacturer, when it seems like the only game that Toyota and Lexus are going to nowadays is Gran Turismo, and the pageantry and the way it was done and the overall commentary of the GT Sport FIA actual championships, like the ones that were live streamed on YouTube and stuff, was incredible. And while obviously 99.99% of people ain't in that, everyone can watch that if they want. And that was downright incredible. That was very much overwhelming. Not overwhelming like in a bad way, just it was more than what I expected by far. And that makes up for some things overall, because that was the game's main selling point. I don't agree that that should have been this game's main selling point, because that ain't really what a Gran Turismo game is. The real driving simulator, not the real trying to become a real race car driver simulator. But what it wanted to do, it did well. Even though what it wanted to do truly and really only directly affected, if you think about it, really only like 4 people. I mean, the 90 or whatever that went to the events, and then the 30 that went to the other things got trips, but it's really only the 4 people who got recognition beyond Gran Turismo, the IOF Racing, who won the Nations, and then the 3 for Lexus? It was either Toyota or Lexus, I think it was Lexus. They won the manufacturers. So yeah, that's cool. It's just hard to be all that positive about that, just because directly affecting was basically no one there. But, I mean, that's, I guess, my general review of GT Sport. Could it be longer? Not that much longer. I mean, really, the only thing I didn't address was open lobby, and that's just because I personally can't really run it that well. My internet's just not good enough to. It's hard to review something that I just personally can't really connect that good to. Granted, that's a flaw in general, because a whole heck of a heap of games out there I can still connect to perfectly fine, and it seems like GT Sport ain't one of those. And it's had its fair share of online woes for a lot of people too, like the rolling start thing not working and blah blah blah, but I'm still not going to give a downright overwhelming, underwhelming type review to it, because I wouldn't give the fairest reviews given my circumstances. So there's GT Sport. As far as other games, The Crew 2 was slightly underwhelming, but kind of like Grand Theft Auto to me, because what I saw at the beginning, it looked amazing. It looked like it literally had a chance to be a 10 out of 10 game, depending on how stuff got executed. In the grand scheme of things, I'd give The Crew 2 about an 8 out of 10. There's some stuff in The Crew 2 that can't be done in any other video game. There's some stuff in The Crew 2 that is in like all the other video games and executed so poorly it can't really be used. Like, yay, now in late 2018 we get PvP in late 2018 in a game that came out mid 2018. Yeah. It's downright worse than The Crew 1's PvP. I ain't gonna deny that. It's worse. The way in which they do it, I don't mind that as an option in which way to do it, because then the people like specific stuff can do their specific stuff. But there's no option to just do general gameplay anymore. You can't just jump into it and then vote between like a monster truck event, a streetcar race, an aerobatics competition, and a demolition derby. You either do demolition derbies, streetcar races, or blah blah blah. That's overall worse to me. Yes, good option, but that shouldn't be the entire PvP. And then other bits that occurred to that right on. It got a few more cars as well. And its DLC was also ultimately free, just like GT Sports. Free DLC to all games is a good thing, but again, we were told that we were going to get that, so. But still, overall, I would say for 2018, the game that I enjoyed playing the most was Drive Club. The Crew 2. I say unbiasedly because that's the new one that came out and not the one that's 4 years old that's still the vastly superior one. Yeah, The Crew 2 was overall the most fun for me. Which honestly, for the most fun I had at like one particular time, is still ultimately true. Yeah, I enjoyed racing like the kart race that I specialtated that was my best overall finish in GT Sports Best, but just general gameplay of a game that everyone can do, the most I enjoyed at one particular time was The Crew 2. I enjoyed Drive Club more because of the competitive aspect, and same with GT Sport. But The Crew 2 has the best general gameplay. And then on to the final 2018 relevant type stuff, which aka like ain't Drive Club as much just because that's an older PS4 game. Skate 3 got some servers back, and then they didn't. Those are dead now, which I will probably do a separate video for that, but just in general, the servers came back, and then they didn't. Skate 4 was looking like it was going to happen, and then it didn't. That's underwhelming. Overwhelming to the point that I was downright surprised that we got servers back, but ultimately underwhelming because they didn't do anything with it, and they didn't keep them. It was just a tease. So we watched EA's press conference, which is downright dirty. So speaking of dirty in EA, Burnout Paradise, that's the game for dirty racing. It got a remaster this year and it was good, and it ended up being cheap and just very much overwhelming that happened. I did not think that was going to happen whatsoever, and then it did, and that was incredible. The game itself is the definition of whelming, because it's the game itself. Nothing more. It looks prettier. That's what we exactly knew what we were going to get. Perfectly fine. I've always liked Burnout Paradise a whole heck of a heap. So good. And in miscellaneous other stuff that's not a particular game that I play, that happened, though. Well, actually, I played it for a little bit. First, Unrust. Underwhelming. That's nothing more I can say about it. At the bare minimum, is basically my review of the beta is exactly the same of when it became free this month, meaning December. Still underwhelming, still almost nothing to do. It literally feels like a phone game in the way it plays. There's literally... It's gas. You don't really need the brakes. And then there's nitro and turning. Yes, GT Sport is gas brake turning, but there's a physics to it. Unrust really has no unique physics. The bike feels a little bit different than a rally truck, but the rally truck doesn't feel that much different than a rally car type thing. There's really nothing to that game. It's average for a free game, but it literally just feels like something that would be executed better on a phone. You hold the phone, you use one thumb to turn the car, and you use the other thumb to press the unrust/nitro thing. It accelerates for you because you don't really need to use the brakes, and then you... Or you can do the turning by this, which won't do much so people don't puke, but y'all get what I'm saying. Either or. Unrust would be an okay free phone game. Even with like in-app purchases and stuff of maybe new content, but it just does not feel like a console game. The game that I completely didn't play. I kind of somewhat lied about the first thing because I somewhat forgot Unrust existed. Wreckfest. It still ain't out on consoles. It was like supposed to be out on consoles in like 2015, 2016-ish, and now it's 2019 and it still might get delayed. But they're in cahoots now. I don't know the exact ownership stuff, but I know they're with them now. We're with THQ. Man, that's an old name. THQ kind of reminds me of THX. I thought they went out of business like 10 years ago, and I think THX did. Y'all might not even know THX anymore, but they made movies, I think mostly like kids' movies. I can't think of one off the top of my head they made, but I remember they did make movies. I don't think they exist now. I thought that was THQ as well. I thought the last one they did was like the MX versus ATV, like the one with the... If you are leaning towards the left, you have to press right to like make it balance out type thing. I don't even know what that one was called, but I thought that was the last one they did in like mid-era PS3 in like 2010 or 11 or something. They're still making MX versus ATV games now. Wow. I saw the trailer for like the one that came out this year, and it looks like the same thing that I played on MX vs. ATV Unleashed, just with less vehicles and prettier graphics. That's underwhelming. But Wreckfest in general, I guess, is whelming. We don't have it. Hard to grade. I would love more than anything to have it, because the game in general looks way overwhelming. It looks incredible. It looks like it may have the best damage model of any game like ever, and I really want it. And we don't have it, and... Meh. But, I guess that's kind of it. Overall, it does go to whelming. GT Sport kind of sort of underwhelming. Whelming overall, because 2017 was also very much underwhelming, but Crew 2 ultimately was overwhelming just because the game's incredible, despite it's not having the best execution and stuff. It's still a good game at heart. Drive Club is still very much overwhelming. It's incredible, but it's not 2015 anymore. The other games were kind of summed up to ultimately be whelming. So, that's the year, folks. I don't really know how to end this because this was the first time I did it, but that's kind of what you expect for a whelming year. It's not downright bad, it's not downright good, there's... Yeehaw. I'm expecting 2019 to be worse, honestly. I hate to say this, but I think GT Sport might die in 2019. Meaning they're going to quit giving stuff to it. I don't think it's online. It's going to go out in 2019. Just... Because ultimately, if PD's going to want to put out another Gran Turismo game on a PS4, which it's been their trend to per system, they're going to need to do it really cop-picking fast, or else we're going to get even worse than GT6 situation. I mean, GT5 sold great, and GT6 happened when the PS4's out. GT Sport sold underwhelming, and if GT Sport 2, GT7, honestly, it's still pretty good, but I'm going to say GT Sport 2 for now, because that's kind of what's expected to be. Comes out on PS4, it's going to bomb. terribly, and I'm probably not even going to get it. We'll see, though. We'll see. Wreckfest should be out in 2019. If not, that's incredibly underwhelming, and that's kind of it. Who knows what will come? There may be some overwhelming stuff I didn't expect at all to happen, but that's kind of every year, too. You expect that it will happen, you just obviously don't know what it is. But, yeah, cheers to hopefully better 2019 than what I'm expecting, and 2018 gets a mild yeehaw. Nothing enthusiastic, but it's... I can't think of a year that was necessarily worse, but, well, maybe... I don't know. Maybe 2014, because I didn't own a PS4 back then, and all I had was GG6, which was outdated at release, but that was just me in general, so... Well, I hope y'all enjoyed this general review, and... yeah, yeehaw.